Austin Show is brought to you by Slow Coast Studios, Wichita's home for EPKs, live recording, podcasts, really any audio-visual stuff that you might need.
Get with PK Pest Management for all of your pest control needs, 316-305-7108. For any termite inspections or anything under the sun, we'll take care of any problem that you have.
Sacred Leaf is Wichita's favorite CBD store. They grow their own fields out in Colorado. They make a lot of their own products. Stop by, see Nikki, tell them Aaron and Austin sent you.
Get with JEllis Kitchen. They are turning Mondays into Taco Tuesdays over there at the Shamrock Pop-Up. We love everything that JEllis is doing.
It's like a Taco Tuesday pregame.
They got fried tacos that they do all the time.
With this really good, like, pineapple sauce on it.
Pineapple.
It's pretty fire. Like,
yeah, dude, it's fire. Make sure you get out to Diaper Jam 2024 this year. We moved locations. We're not at Champs this year. We're moving over to Bourbon Street. We're going to have a great time. We're on 420 this year. So come out. We're going to have vendors. There's going to be food. We're going to have tons of bands. There'll be plenty of people announced coming up. Make sure that you come out to Diaper Jam. All you need to bring is a package of diapers, from the tiniest ones to adult diapers. It doesn't matter. Bring a package of diapers. It gets you in the door for all day's worth of fun.
The whole thing benefits Wichita Children's Home, so dig deep. Aaron and Austin Show will be out there advertising and promoting and talking to everybody, so come say hi.
Yeah, we're going to be live on location all day long podcasting while the concerts are going on, while the fun's going on, while the vendors are out there, so make sure you get out and support them.
The Aaron and Austin Show wants to give a huge shout out to Eddie at Wichita by EB. Go check out his podcast, The Editorial. Check out all the stuff he's doing for food trucks. He releases a list of where the food trucks are going to be. He releases a list of where the bands are going to be playing. Just an amazing dude. Go support him. Find Wichita by EB. Support him however you can. Detox has been helping Wichita detox for 15 years. They have a great selection of CBD products, mushroom gummies, kratom, kava, and even legal THC. Hit them up, www.alloutdetox.com, or give them a call, 316-554-7459. Be all in with All Out Detox. Dam Jam 2024, the biggest lake party in Kansas. We have Brantley Gilbert, Stone Temple Pilots, Demon Jones, Wheeler Walker Jr., Upchurch, and Joe D. Messina. So it's going to be a killer lineup. More to come. A bunch of locals popping up on that. There's a whole beach party stage. We haven't announced an act on.
Yeah, and we've got just so much going on at that show. Make sure that you're going to be out there. It's July 19th and 20th this year out at Lake Afton. Get your tickets as early as you can. There's going to be more announcements, more people coming out. They're doing 2 stages this year. The Aaron and Austin Show is going to be in the VIP section, podcasting live at the lodge all weekend long. It's going to be a blast. There's going to be camping. There's going to be dad bod contests. There is going to be a car show.
Shenanigans.
Awesome. So, quick and get ready. Make sure that you get out to Jason Wynn's tribute show, Temple Live on the 27th of January. That's coming. So it's a $10 show. There's a lot of local artists there, a lot of people that Jason supported. So get out and get to that show. That'll be a fun one. We got all the Winterfest and all the other stuff coming out. And other than that, and all the cold weather we've been dealing with in this fucking town for this weekend, Jesus, man, it got a little brutal on us. I don't know. I hope everybody survived. I hope everybody's pipes and heaters and all that survived, because I know that shit gets a little crazy during this time. You guys have any trouble? I had no trouble.
They canceled school, so I had to watch my kid for a night.
Well, that's, I mean,
right. I don't really mind that so much.
You had to get your ass out at 7:30 in the morning and deal with it.
That's the only problem.
I mean, I had to leave work the other day and go fix my mom, try to thaw her pipes out.
Yeah, I mean, that shit is all over town right now.
Our pipes froze at the clubhouse, but...
Yep. Did they? They froze at the clubhouse a little bit. So parlay right into that. We got Drama and Choppa in. We got 2023 Barbershop of the Year award winner sitting right here. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Let everybody know what you got going.
I'm Drama the Barber. Right now, just really focusing on the shop and focusing on the brand and seeing what, working the concept of building and going through the steps and the motions of being able to adjust to regular barber life, as to where in my past few years I have been traveling a lot and working a lot. So being able to be in the shop and be a part of the shop and everything that's going on is a little bit different, but I'm getting used to it. I'm adjusting. So
nice. Oh, yeah. And so you met up with this guy to start the shop, right? You guys are the founders of the place, or?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So me and Chop knew each other. When I graduated barber school, I went to DeVille's, and that's where he was already working at. But we kind of already have a past together too. We knew each other before then, and so when we were at DeVille's, it was our vibes are kind of the same, and we're kind of we rub off on each other well. We're both big sports fans. We love barbering. We
pretty
love
well into the same stuff.
A lot of it's chemistry, man. If you're gonna do anything together, man, the chemistry.
Yeah.
Gotta be
Well,
right.
especially start a business because we all finna know each other real well here in a minute when
Yeah.
we start talking money and shit. Shit gets real.
Right.
Gets real
you got-
quick.
You got a guy you can go on trips with and you do things with. You go out to family events. You go see their kids play ball. You come. These different things. Those are the people that you like to function with and stay close to and make things happen with.
Man, you
You
couldn't
just
say
really
better.
make it a family affair. You know what I mean? Like, I've always looked at Chop like a big brother. He's been around me, man, for years. He used to run around with my brothers. You know what I mean? And, like, growing up, I used to look up to these guys a lot. So it was really cool when I was going to barber school. And I'm a third generation hairstylist. So it was cool when I was like, this is really what I plan to do. And me and Chop linked up. And he's like, man, you can't go anywhere but with me. And I'm like, shit, okay. Well, then I looked up where he was, and he was at DeVille's. And at the time, DeVille's was like
Is
the
that still
number
a
one.
place?
No.
I didn't wonder if that dissolved or not because I used to get my hair cut there.
No,
Still-
actually, what happened with that?
That's
That's
actually
how we
what I
came
know.
about. That's how we came about our shop. Elvis decided that he didn't want to be in Wichita anymore, so and do the barber business. So he told me, "Hey, man, do you want to take over the shop?" I said, "Well, yeah, man, no doubt. I don't want to stop doing what I'm doing. I mean, where else am I
Well,
going to go?
they were over there off of Maple at that time,
Is
right?
it the same location as you guys?
No,
are?
they were off of
where
Seneca.
we were at
Seneca.
the time.
No,
So we're off of
'cause-
31st, right at 31st in Waco.
Yeah, okay.
So we had moved over there for some months, and he wasn't feeling it. So he moved, and he went out to open a shop out on his own,
Oh, really?
and left the shop to me. And I called Drama and said, "Hey, man, let's do this. What's up? You want to jump in with me? Let's do the shop thing." He said, "Yeah, man, let's make it happen." So we had a name and
We went and we
and
met up to have.
flyers made. I mean, we had images made up for
We
for
went to have
advertising,
lunch.
everything.
We were
that
supposed to have
night.
lunch,
Oh, yeah.
and lunch turned into like a 20-minute like poster board. Like we had everything. Like I'm already like I got.
Isn't
Bro,
that,
we got
isn't
these
that nice when you
logos
got
and-
somebody that's excited and got some
Right, yeah.
ideas and you can start bouncing
Yeah.
ideas
Have you
off
already
each other?
thought about this a little bit?
Yeah, like they've already got some shit in the pocket. You can tell
see,
they
and we
put
had
in
talked about
put
it
in some
before.
work a little bit already. That helps.
See, and we
man.
had talked about it before, and then bro moved to Florida, and so when he went to Florida, I was kind of like, well, fuck, what do I do? You know what I mean? Because I was kind of in a sticky situation where I was at DeVille's anyways. You know what I mean? And so I was kind of like, damn, well, Chop was the one really keeping me grounded. You know what I mean? As far as family life, and you know what I mean? And so when he took off to Florida, I was kind of like, damn, what do I do now? And I was kind of like at the way that DeVille's was set up and the way that DeVille's orchestrated, you know what I mean? It just kind of wasn't like everything that I had set for myself and all the goals that I had set coming out of college. I had a checklist of things, you know what I mean? And so whenever he moved to Florida, I was kind of like, this is my door. You know what I mean? Like this is the chance for me to bust through.
Step up.
And
it wasn't the vibe. The vibe of what he was trying to accomplish wasn't what Elvis wanted for DeVille's.
Okay.
He wanted nice local shop that's this and that. You always hear local. And Drama's always had bigger dreams. I mean, it's just
Yeah, and why stifle anybody's dreams like that? I mean,
Yeah.
all due respect to what he was doing, but like when you see somebody that's got these big ideas, man, sometimes run with that shit,
right.
No,
You know
what
and
I
I
mean?
mean, and big shout outs to Elvis. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Shout out to
man.
Elvis Wilson,
We made
Elvis
a
the
lot of
barber,
money
man.
for a lot of years with Elvis.
Yeah, I've heard good things about him.
Yeah,
I've never
big
heard a
dude.
bad thing about him. Honestly, I never.
Yeah, I
really
mean, dude,
good
Elvis
dude.
was a great guy. You know what I mean? Like he really taught me a lot. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for Elvis, because
He's one of my
Elvis
best
really
friends in
taught
this
me
world.
a lot
I mean,
when I
straight up.
came into barber school, because he kind of knew within time that I was going to take off and kind of do my own thing, and so he really kind of took me under his wing there for quite a while. You know what I mean? And he showed me like how to run the money, how to run the shop, how to keep your clients, how to do, you know what I mean? He showed me a lot of things, and but like Chop said, my dreams was somewhere else. You know what I mean? But shout out to him, and I'm so thankful that I was able to go into a shop like his and have the cast that we had that was able to set me off in the atmosphere, because I wouldn't be where I'm at without none of these guys.
Well, it sounds like you had a pretty successful thing. I mean, you touring around doing hair. That's a specialty case, man. That's not everybody can say it. Say
Right.
all that.
Right?
Well,
Yeah.
and a big thing is too that we all travel a lot.
Yeah.
And us as barbershop owners, you'd like to get everything set up to where we can travel when we want to, and the shop will still be okay.
Yeah. I
Right.
got you.
So
Yeah.
when you travel, and then the guys that you hired start traveling all the time too, it kind of screws up what you had planned.
You can't have everybody traveling all at the same time
for that situation. So it makes it hard.
Almost like you guys have to get with your schedules and travel at different times.
Right. We all do this so we can have our own schedule. We can do what we want to do. That's why we became barbers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We wanted to work for ourselves and not have to worry about people telling us this is when you have to be there. No, I'll be there when I get there.
Right.
So when did you guys? I know you got third. You said third or fourth generation.
I'm a third generation.
How did you land on being a barber and cutting hair? Where did that come around for you?
Well, I started cutting my own hair, man, when I was 13.
See how that worked out.
Terrible haircut.
Well, it's hard to see. And in the mirror is backwards. I remember when I was a kid trying to do shit like that.
You got a mirror in your hand, and you got a clipper here, and you're doing everything backwards, and it's on. And then when I was in the military a little bit, I did some haircutting in the barracks for a little beer money on Fridays and whatnot.
Just lining people up and shit.
Yeah, when I was deployed up
nice.
out to Fort Riley. So, and then I worked out at Spirit, and I worked for Spirit for years, and I got injured on the job. Man, they let me go. So
really, did they give you severance and shit at least? Fuck them.
No, it's just a whole thing. It's all. There's always a big mess about
Disclaimer.
it.
I'm gonna go cut hair.
There's always a big mess
I'm
about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was. It
wasn't a job for you anyway.
I left there.
That wasn't a job for you anyway.
And I saw Elvis at a bike show that I was throwing.
Oh, really?
And he was in barber school, and he said, "Hey, man, what you been up to?" I said, "Man, I'm working out. I just left Spirit." He said, "Man, you should go to barber school." And I went and enrolled.
Really?
Yeah, I had a great uncle that was a barber over in Kentucky, so why didn't I try it?
So both of you guys have mentioned barber school. What does that entail? Like, run us down. You don't have to give us the whole curriculum, but what's it like for somebody who's wanting to try to get into that? What's barber school entail?
When we went, it was different than it is now because of the hour requirements for the state.
And pull that to you if it make you more comfortable.
From the hour requirements of the state, it's different now than it was when we went to school.
Right.
So
very different
for us. We had to get these.
What's
what
that?
Was it 1,500 hours?
Yeah, it's way tougher now.
Okay.
We had to get 1,500 hours, and it really was set up for a year of school, and you learn all the things that are entailed with barbering and whatnot, and the coloring and all the science of the health.
See, the coloring stuff has
everything.
really come now. The coloring stuff is really pushed now, but I think a lot of what that is now is this generation today. You know what I mean? You got the punk rockers, the emo kid, you know what I mean? And everybody, so it's kind of...
They want colors in there.
Yeah,
products are probably better now.
And multi-colors, too.
Right.
Like, you see some of them...
I love that.
It's cool when they do and they drop it, and it's 8 different colors. That's cool shit.
I like to see the ombre, different colors, and then when they do all the different things, you know what I'm saying? I don't have that in my bag.
Well, especially like I've seen,
you see
some of these TikTok videos. They got them like 8 colors on the outside, and it's all one
on top,
underneath and shit. You're just like, God damn, how did they pull that off?
I'm not gonna say I can't do it. I'm gonna say I haven't done it.
Yeah, I bet you get it.
Nobody's asked me to do it.
Yeah,
right.
Shit.
It ain't that hard. You know what I mean?
But you gotta have a lot of hair. Probably you gotta have a lot of thick hair to make those multicolors work.
No, you can do it with you can do it with short hair. I mean, it's just all in the process of how you do it.
It's all attention to detail.
And how much money you got, because I know that dye ain't cheap. That motherfucking...
Fuck no, it ain't.
Not.
No, because I know.
See, what I always do, I always buy it. I always tell everybody that I'll just give them the price at the end with everything. You know what I mean? And I just go buy the shit, and I'm like, it's always... Every time I go, I'm like, you're an idiot. Why did you do that? You should have just got, you know what I mean? Or you could tell them to go buy what they want, because you don't know what product they want. You just know what color they want. And then you have to go through the whole process of semi-permanent, demi-permanent.
You gotta have that. I got a daughter, so you gotta have that. Also, gotta have that like activator shit. And there's all kind like they just go buy the color. We made that mistake.
No,
I personally don't like the smell of all the processed stuff, so I don't like the food with it. I like to cut hair. That's what I like to do.
I feel you, dude. And like adding that to the shop would even be like, oh.
I mean, we do it.
But you do it for money. I mean, shit.
I do it, $20.
Like them perms,
You're right.
We had this running joke. $20 is $20.
Yeah,
right. Well, see, and that's really the joy of, that's really the joy of us really loving what we do, because there's no ceiling to it. We can do anything. And when I got out of school, I mean, I felt like I was doing all right. And then once I started seeing, these other guys, and I'm like, nah, I got to travel with him. And then I would tell Chop, nope, I got to go travel with him. I got to go travel with him. And then I would start traveling with these guys and start seeing different shit. Well, then when I came back to Kansas, I'm like, okay, well, we don't get shit here until 6 months after it's already been
if you're
shown.
lucky, 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
And so I started braiding.
Slow coast, see?
It was when we went to BarberCon
in New York. Yeah, well, see, and then I started
braiding. That really opened some doors for you guys. Opened your eyes.
BarberCon, and we met Lee Resnick
Yeah, so we were at DeVille's at the time, and it was I saw the thing for it, and I was like, we need to go to that. Like, as a shop, we need to go to that. Well, nobody really wanted to go. It wasn't really a thing for anybody, but nobody was on. Nobody was respectfully. Nobody was on the mission that I was on, and so he was like, "Bro, I'll go with you." So I told him,
somebody always ride with you.
Yeah, bro's always got me, no matter what it is. I could walk through fucking burning hot glass on fire, and he'd go with me.
There's more money to be made.
You know,
somehow this is.
Why miss an opportunity to learn something?
Somehow this has got to benefit
that
us.
part. You know what I mean? That part.
The biggest thing in the country.
Because one more skill in the bag, it means a ton, especially in your guys' fucking profession.
It's the biggest function for barbers in the country. So why would we not gain something?
So what is this called again? BarberCon?
BarberCon.
And it's in New York City. Is it in the same?
Well, no, they do different ones. They move around.
Okay, cool.
The first one
that's cool. It makes it not the same spot every year. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, the first one that we went to was in New York, and it was like a 3-story nightclub. It was so cool. You know what I mean? And so we had never been out there. We were fucking around. We didn't know what we were doing.
Turn and burn in New York.
So we went. New York, man.
It was my birthday weekend.
So we ended up out there.
Yeah.
And his cousin is out by Staten Island, and she was like, "Well, you guys can stay with me." You know,
so you got a place to stay?
Well, no. We had a hotel booked
ready for the function.
Right. Well, then the day that we arrived, she was like, "Well, I can't. It's gonna take me 4 hours to get to you guys." And we're like, "All right, it's cool. Fuck it." So we go
in a hotel room. We're in New York. There's plenty of hotel rooms.
Yeah, sure.
Don't ever get a hotel room in New York on the go. That's a stupid idea.
Is it?
So because the only hotel we could find was the Paramount Theater Hotel. And if you've never been to the Paramount Theater,
it already sounds like a setup. I've done been in one before.
No, listen, it's fucking awesome. You walk in and it's dark lit. It's like a big ass Warren. It's like the coolest Warren theater you'll ever be in.
Low lights blue around the pillars and everything.
So we pay like $600 for this room for one night because we're at the Watson the rest of the week, and so the Watson is where all the presidents stay. So
you're just trying to cover that one night.
We just need to cover that one night. We just needed somewhere to stay. We were flying and traveling all day.
Yeah.
So we get the room, and this room is no bigger than this table. And we're like, I'm looking at him. I'm like,
you're like, how the fuck we finna sleep on this table together?
So we go in the room and we got a twin size bed. And I'm like, damn near like, fuck you. Let's play paper rock scissors for this bed. But you know,
that's when you half it. You get 3 hours. I get 3 hours.
Well, see, I love Big Bro. So I'm like, hey, you're older. You can have the bed. You know, I'm like, let me get a fucking blanket and a pillow.
I know you got back issues.
Yeah, I got back issues now. It always takes me back to New York City.
That's when I start fucking. That's when I start playing that old card. Yeah, my back is fucked up.
Yeah, man, I need a backy.
You're right.
Right. Well, so we ended up staying there, and me and him were like, dude, this room is so small. So like an hour later, we're like trying to fall asleep, and this is not working. So we get up and we go walk around Times Square.
Let's go. Fuck it. Let's go get a drink or something.
You legit can flush the toilet like this.
Yeah,
from the bed.
You got to sit on the toilet and you lean on the sink.
You can hit a free throw from the bed and get and flush the toilet, and then wash your hands.
No, you can dunk from the bed.
No, that's fucking
amazing. All that.
Yeah, it wasn't no free throws.
You just put your butt off the side and boo-boo in the toilet.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, shit.
It was for real.
You can brush your teeth, take a shit, and wash your feet at the same time.
Oh, man, that's great. That's fucking hilarious.
But yeah, so
for $600 a night.
Dude. $532.
Dude. God damn.
So then we ended up finally getting to the Watson the next night. And we got a little bit of time to spare, so we're up there hanging out and chilling. Well, we go to Hell's Kitchen, and you know, we're like, hey man, we should go get tattoos. We should get barber tattoos. You know what I mean? Like we might as well.
Why the fuck not?
And so
anything not to go back to this fucking room.
Well, see, I got my first one, the barber on my face. I got the word barber when I was in school. So they used to give me a bunch of bullshit.
I was gonna rub it off his head.
They used to tell me, why would you get? They used to tell me, why would you get barber on your forehead if you're not even a barber? And I'm like, oh bitch, I'm a barber.
Well, it's better than it's better than like the people that get the Super Bowl tattoos and their team ain't won that year. It's like, boy, so at least you didn't go that far.
Yeah, well, there's a guy right now that's got 3 Detroit Lions Super Bowl tattoos.
Disclaimer: Go Pack, go.
Yeah, oh shit, you got to play my boys this week. I'm a 49ers fan.
Get ready.
Yeah. Hey, you guys are tough.
Fucking blow the building up. Damn.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a fun
collapse the building.
That's gonna be a fun game.
How about Nick, before we go any further on this? How about Nick Sirianni?
Oh shit.
Cry, Eagles, cry.
Bye, Eagles, bye.
So you guys you had this already? What did you end up getting as a tattoo?
So I ended up getting the razor on my face above
That's
barber.
the New York tattoo.
That's the New York tattoo. So
did you get anything?
Yeah, he got a
I had
razor.
straight razor with a barber pole.
All right.
Wow.
So if you look at mine, it says
So this is 3 a.m. barber tattoos
in Hell's Kitchen.
In Hell's
Yeah.
Kitchen.
So we leave there, and we're like, dude, we need to get something to eat. So we just, stop in a little bodega, and we grab some sandwiches, and we head back to the hotel. Well, at the time, I smoked cigarettes. So he was upstairs chilling, doing his thing, and I'm like, I'm going to go down and smoke real fast, and so I go down, and Lee Resnick, shout out to Lee Resnick. He's one of the coolest fucking guys I've ever met in my life.
And who is he? Tell us everybody who
So
is.
Lee Resnick is a
Amazing business.
really an advocate for barbering. The guy's not a barber, but
He's somebody in the game that's helped everybody out with it or something.
tremendously.
There's always that
This
one
dude-
guy that like helps everybody do
The
something.
facilitator.
I met this guy.
Yeah.
I met this guy in New York City, and he
facilitator, great.
shouted me out because I had got a tattoo on my face at
We
BarberCon
met him at first in the bodega.
in the bodega. Yeah, because he was
And
like,
then
I seen a
ate,
guy
then
that
we
looked
went
just
back to the
like you,
hotel.
but he didn't have no tattoos. And I'm like, oh, I just got this. And he's like, well, you're the guy I've been seeing.
Yeah.
So then, little did we know, we didn't know that we were at the same hotel.
Same hotel.
So I went down to
That
smoke.
same, the tiny ass room hotel.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
dude.
No, this is at the.
Oh,
This is at the Watson one.
Watson.
So
This is at the
I go
Watson.
down to smoke, and I'm outside smoking, freezing my ass off. And he pops his head out, and he's like, hey, man, funny story. He's like, do you got a bottle opener? And I'm like, I don't, but I got a lighter. And he's like, you can open these with a lighter? And I'm like, oh, yeah, man,
Oh,
check
bro.
this out. So he's like, oh, well, come in here and open some of these beers for us, man. And he was like, come hang out with us. Come listen to us. So we go in, and I'm like, dude, there's like every all-star barber that there is was in this room.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
they was right.
So who is
And the thing is,
the
like-
who's the King Dingling? Who's the big?
Smash the Legend.
Smash the Legend.
Smash the Legend.
Smash
Shout
the
out to
bar.
my man Smash the Legend. Has
Smash
Smash in the city of
Big
Houston and
brother.
Smash in the city of Baton Rouge. The dude is absolutely amazing.
He is.
The dude is so
Kind of like
talented.
the industry.
So
King
he's the team barber for the Houston Rockets. He's got his own suite. Well, he gets
that's
Vince Carter's
badass.
suite
That's badass.
yeah.
Right.
So
That's badass.
His haircut is
But-
really nice.
and the thing is the dude is so cool. You could call him. I could call him right now and be like, "Hey, bro, I this blade came off and I can't get it back on." And he'll try and help me however they'll help you whichever way they can. But
That's right.
when we first went in, he's like, I go in and I start popping bottles and stuff, and then Chop comes
You're
down.
in
and
there lighter popping bottles.
lighter popping bottles. So then Chop comes down there.
He says, "Hey, dude, come down. We down here too.
We need another bottle popper, man.
So
We
they
can't do
start.
it fast enough.
So as soon as we sit down, well, I'm
Oh, I
already
go to
sitting
bed,
down.
you know?
He comes down, and as soon as we're all there together, then like they asked this question, and I'll never forget, man. He's talking about the professionalism with clients. Like, how can you dedicate your professionalism to clients, making them want to come back?
Right.
And he looks right at, like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, we just
we're
cutting
just out
hair.
here on vacation, just wanting to see some cool shit. Well,
hoping to get some clippers on the cheek."
he looks
Yeah,
at
right?
he looks at me,
Get a couple of fucking tricks, learn a couple tricks.
dude. So he looks at me and he's like, "Well, what do you think?" And I'm like, "Ding, I'm on the spot." So I start giving him my answer and everything, and then he looks at Chop and he's like, "Man, what do you think?" So then he starts talking, and then while he's talking, I'm sitting here thinking, "Damn, did we just fuck up?"
Right.
Like, we don't know nothing about.
Well, and you
fucking nothing.
don't know much about them either.
Well,
Personally,
we've already made our introductions as who we are, so we understand who we're talking to. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's not that we don't understand who we're speaking to.
but you just want to feel like
It's
you're
just
on their
that
level.
Now you're like, okay, these guys are really big in this business and
Right.
in the world of this.
You have a chance to be seen on the scene.
And they're
Right.
thinking on a different
We're
level.
having a personal conversation with these guys who are setting the standard for what we do.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, who you guys are looking after.
ultimately,
Yeah, who you guys are looking at to
these
see what
guys
to do is the right
who
way.
have the websites that make people look and see for these new styles, these new
Right.
processes, these new
I mean, these are the guys that you lean
products.
The trendsetters.
Yeah, these are the guys
So
that
how
you
to go
rub off
over
on.
with your guys' two answers
Yeah,
with
what'd
these
you
guys.
say?
We still in contact with them.
And there you go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, I can't. Hey, like I said, I wouldn't be the barber that I am. I wouldn't be the man I am. I wouldn't be the person that I am if it wasn't for Lee Resnick. Lee Resnick saved my life in a way that he'll never understand.
And in the biggest
Yeah.
way, when we in that first conversation that night, the man asked us. We all had it was just a simple conversation. He says, "What do you charge? What do you charge?" And we went around the round table of all these barbers that we're sitting here talking to, and he says, "What do you charge for a haircut where you're living? What do they charge
Where
where
you're
you're living?
living, yeah.
What do they charge? You know what I'm
That's
saying?"
part of it.
And we had
Right.
these conversations, and come to find out, we were robbing ourselves.
We were.
Yeah, you're way under what you should be paying.
We were way under what we.
Yeah, we found out a little bit out today.
Right now, we're still way under what we should be making.
Right.
Honestly. But our market.
Well, yeah, the market kind of.
Well, the market's the problem.
The market has to support what you're charging,
and the market has
well.
to understand too.
Right.
Like a lot of times they're not educated into what they're actually getting. Because
Right.
I've been to guys, anybody that's been to their shop knows.
Because you're not paying for the haircut.
Yeah, you're paying for the experience, and you're paying for
the whole thing.
you're paying for your guys' expertise. You're paying for the feel of the place.
Well, you guys said it earlier. It's
on
vibes,
the wall,
man.
that
Yeah.
free
Vibes.
beer in the fridge. That
Well, see, and that's kind of what we wanted.
You guys got a great.
And that's
spot.
kind of what we wanted. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing, like the whole theme of the gentleman's shop was the cornerstone. Think back to, I'm a big mob nut. I'm a mafia hooligan. So I mean, when you look back into the old days, man, you see the barbers come in and they got their top hats on, and they got their trench coats on, and you know what I mean. And then you get these guys that come in.
That shit was tight
in the shop.
Oh,
yeah, and you get these guys that come in because like the barbershop movie, Checker Fred. He's one of my favorite characters, and he don't even mean shit. He's like nothing in the movie.
What you love about him is he's gonna be there every day.
That's there, right?
Yeah, he's gonna be there every day.
Right. And the thing is you never have to wear, and it ain't even so much about the haircut or whatever. It's the atmosphere of it. Yeah. It's knowing,
the experience for your client.
Right.
It is.
It's an experience.
It is. It's a ton of it, and you guys' shop has that in spades. It really does. Like it has a feel of it. Like you. I always say that barbers are like the cool dudes that aren't tattoo artists. Yeah. Like the tattoo artists, the guys always have like a little bit of chip on their shoulder. Like the the barbers are always so much more welcoming and nice. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you guys should like do a conference with tattoo artists and teach them some.
Well, see, man, and you got to be
down to Florida. My buddy Wendell that I worked with down in Florida taught me so many different things that I was able to bring back here with me as well, because he's the one that made me realize that it's not about the haircut.
Never about the haircut.
It's never really about the haircut.
That's like the end of the sandwich almost.
The haircut is 10% of the service.
Right.
Yeah, you just want, as long as we looking good when we going home at the back, the
Yeah,
haircut's good. You want
honestly,
that part.
Most guys really don't care about the damn haircut. They just want their haircut.
Yeah, a lot of us.
20%.
We do our best to make them look real good because we like to put out good haircuts.
Yeah, because it's kind of your calling card walking around.
20% is the atmosphere.
Feel good.
20% is the atmosphere. 20% is the conversation. 20% is the greeting. 20% is the consultation, and 20% is how you treat that person. That's 100% of your money.
100%.
And I will say that you can use that concept on almost any fucking small business.
On anything.
Right.
Yeah, that's not just at their barbershop, guys.
Yeah.
And that's why I spent, he spent his time trying to get to where he's at. I spent my time trying to get to the making people happy.
Yeah,
I have
leaving them feeling some kind of way a little bit.
I have a tendency to be a little more direct and less politically correct.
Are we okay? Hold on. What's up? Okay, cool. Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure we were good.
And less politically correct when I tell people what I'm feeling, and that's something that I've worked on for a long time, and I've gotten a lot better at it. But
not being so direct.
Yeah. Well, and it's because of.
Well,
it's easy to turn up as an asshole.
Where are you from, man? Where are you from? New York?
I'm from Wichita is my home.
Wichita. All right.
Wichita is my home. I was born in Oklahoma, but Wichita is my home.
I'm from Wichita.
That's what I thought. Both of you guys were from.
Yeah. Everything I learned everything important here in Wichita.
Yeah. You can learn some important shit here. You can learn some important fucking shit here.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I gotta kind of get him back online, because there is time, and it ain't so much that he has an attitude or anything like that. It's just, this is how he was raised. This is how he was taught. His dad didn't mess around with. I know his dad, and Pops never messed around with him. You know what I mean? Or any of them. Yeah. He's straightforward to the point. This is how it's going to be. There's no, there's no gray areas, black and white. You know what I mean?
You have to be soft with people when you're dealing in business.
You have to be adaptable. Some people want that gruff, no talk shit.
Well, and a lot of times
some people want to hear everything and why. Some people want to know everything, and
but you have to know how to talk.
Yeah, you do.
You have to know how to word it.
Every time.
You do. You have to read, and you have to read that person on the fly.
You got to read the audience.
Right.
Yeah, you got to read them on the fly.
Sometimes it's not even the person in your chair. Sometimes it's the person sitting over there.
Right.
You're right. You never could have said it better.
That's when it turns into the problem. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's how you make the shop cool, is like you get everybody kind of talking in the same circle together.
Right.
Like you can engage in, when you got two people getting a haircut talking to each other. And like, that's a fun thing.
And that's what you have in our shop as well, because we're small enough together. I mean, there's only 4 chairs in our shop right now. We have room for one more if we want, but we have 4 chairs in the shop. We have three barbers working right now. And it's perfect. We have everybody has a conversation. Everybody enjoys everybody's company. And it's all inclusive.
Well, see, and another cool thing, man, is like we're not the regular, like even though that we try to be that old school cornerstone style barbershop, we're a little bit different because we're both big sports nuts. You know what I mean? Both of us, huge sports nuts.
We're all hip hop heads.
And
Me
we're
too.
but see,
check mark.
But see, the thing is, you know, we're like you're not going to see ESPN every time you come to our shop. We're not going to talk sports every time you come. You might come tomorrow and we might be having a debate about Donald Trump.
We might be talking about Cat Williams' interview.
Dude, we might be having
Concussion and we
today we watched all sport movies. You know what I mean? Tomorrow we might watch all mob movies.
That movie,
Scarface Saturdays.
That movie makes my head hurt.
Scarface Saturdays. There you go.
How they lied to us in football.
Yeah. And like that's how we kind of came up. So like I'm a big mob nut. So like I had a man cave in my house that was all mafia shit.
Mobster Monday.
Yeah. And so like, you know, so whenever we decided to do the shop, like that was one of the concepts we came up with. So each person has their station themed to their favorite mob movie. You know what I mean? So
and that's
like,
kind of the design behind your logo and shit a little bit too, right?
Right.
You kind of got the mob logo
So
look.
his is all Scarface. So if you come in the shop next time,
got
you'll
a big
see
pile of cocaine
you'll
just
see
chilling.
his whole shit is Scarface. Dude, he's got Scarface toys, Scarface Rubik's cubes, posters, paintings. You know what I mean? And then mine's The Godfather. Well, I mean, you've been in, so I have 2 whole walls. That's just The Godfather. You know what I mean? But
you guys got cool decor in your
corner.
place.
He got 2 walls.
What's Sir Charles? What's Sir Charles's? What's Charles's?
Charles's is the Goodfellas.
Is Goodfellas?
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas is still one of my favorites.
Yep. And then I think the next station. We already got the station.
Casino, we got to do Casino.
Casino, I think,
that'd
is going to be the next.
That'd be a fun one.
Because I don't think we can go any further without having Casino in there.
I mean, it's almost
you have to include before you.
Yeah, right. You have to give some of their movies their
like when they go to church, they tell
carte blanche.
Right.
But
the classics, man.
So I wanted to ask about how you guys got into this part of it, and it's really, and you like parlayed into a lot of cool meats. But how do you, as a barber coming up, you say you get your degree or whatever, and like how does it come about to travel with other barbers, and like how does that work? Like you talked about that a little bit. Explain that. So you like hook up with somebody that you meet at
so
a
like with
convention or something?
BarberCon, so like when we started to travel with BarberCon.
Thanks.
When we initially went to BarberCon,
he kept doing it. You know what I'm saying? That was his thing.
So when we went, we just kind of rubbed shoulders and met people and just kind of, just enjoyed the atmosphere. You know what I mean? Like we're barbers and we love it. So I mean, it was just really cool to see all the kind of stuff. We talked with vendors. We talked with a bunch of people. Well, of course, because of all my tattoos and the way that I look, a lot of people's like, oh, I know him.
Yeah, you get remembered. Remembered, yeah.
And so people started, oh, well, yeah, that's Drama the Barber. So I was doing designs, and I do really cool designs. So
what do you mean by designs? Explain to us.
So like
us dumbasses that we don't know.
Oh, like the carve in the side.
Yeah. So like I just did one. I did one at Halloween time. I did Ghostface in my buddy Juice's head.
Oh, that's tight.
And so originally did it. I'm a big KU fan, so I did a Jayhawk for my son. I did a Jayhawk in full color on his head, and I took him to Allen Fieldhouse for the senior game against Texas a couple years back, and we got pictures in front of the James Naismith statue, and so I used it to promote. And so there's a company that's called Graph Etch. And Linda is the owner of Graph Etch, and they have like these colored pencils, but it's like a oil based pastel kind of pencil where you can use it to color people's heads. So
it's a colored pencil for hair.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
did she make up her own? Oh, okay. So she kind of made up her own thing a little bit.
Right. Yeah, dude, and they're so cool.
Shout out to that lady for coming up with something.
Shout out to Linda from Graph Etch.
Good idea.
That's fucking cool. A cool ass idea. So now you can really, get you guys' artistry like in this fucking shit.
Right. And so like when I did the KU one, I sent the picture to Linda, and I was like, hey, I used your pencils to do this design, and she ended up texting me back, and she's like, hey man, this is awesome. So they wanted to use it for a backdrop at BarberCon the following year.
Oh, sweet.
And so they were like, hey man, you should come out because we would see your haircut out here. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I linked with Lee, and me and Lee always stayed in touch. I always, continued to like his posts and watch his lives, and awesome. I always maintained myself. So I have a notification that anytime that Lee gets on any social media, I get a notification. And so anytime that any of my crew, Lee Resnick, any of the guys that I work and travel with, shout out to the guys at Andis, shout out to the guys at Babyliss Pro, shout out to the guys at Stylecraft. You know, every time that I would see Lee, I always made sure that I made that connection. Hey Lee. Well, then I was invited to, so when I went to New York the second time, I took my wife with me because she had never been. And so we went, and halfway through the thing, Lee's like, hey man, I got some people that you should really meet. And so I'm like, okay, cool. You know, like here's the door. You know, here's that door.
Yeah, be ready.
Be ready.
So,
you know what I mean?
Networking is everything, man. Networking is everything.
Guy.
Yeah.
He's like, I got this guy. He's like, man, you should really meet this guy. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. You know what I mean? So I was down. So then this little bitty Italian guy, he comes over. And he's not really little. He's actually a pretty big dude. But shout out to Jay Majors. Jay Majors is an awesome guy to talk to. He gives awesome feedback. I mean, he's just cool as a fan. And so Jay Majors puts on the CT Expo in Connecticut, which I believe, don't quote me, I don't want to get in trouble, but I believe
we make wild
that
accusations on this show all the
Expo
time.
is... I believe that the CT Expo is the biggest one in the United States as far as attendance, I believe.
What is the CT Expo? I don't know what that is.
It's the same thing as BarberCon. It's
so
just
it's
a
kind
different...
of
it's just a different platform. Like they do it. So the CT Expo, so Jay started doing that, and then he's done it every year, and it just grows and grows and grows. And it's so cool. And I haven't been. So Jay, if you're listening, if you see this, send me some tickets, bro. Let's get down, man.
No shit.
Let's get
The
down.
whole Aaron Austin show will come. We ain't fucking scared.
It will be there.
For sure. So
whole fucking podcast there. We don't give a shit.
Clippers will travel.
And so I just maintained that relationship with Lee, you know, and I got his number, and we always talked and we always text, and you know, I had called him a couple times, and so my mentor is DC Conley out of Compton. He owns a shop in Compton called Barberism, the shop, and he's Snoop Dogg's barber, and so that's a pretty nice. He also
name drop.
I'm the world's biggest Snoop Dogg fan. So when I met DC,
he's just gotta like the man himself, even if you don't like his music.
Well, Chop will
right?
tell you, I'm really like the biggest Snoop Dogg fan in the world. So, but anyway, so yeah, shout out Snoop Dogg.
Say pause.
But so when I found out, so when I was working with DC, I'm like, man, dude is cool as fuck, man. You know, like he's just teaching me everything. And every time I would see him, he'd be like, Drama, let's do a picture. And I say, okay. So I pull my phone out and we go take a picture. And he'd say, no, fuck that. Let's do a video. And so I put my video up, and he'd always say some crazy stuff like, my man Drama, that has no drama in drama. The solidest dude I know, Drama. You know what I mean? Like DC is just, dude is cool as fuck. Well, so he really opened up my mind to a lot of things, because at the time I was working with Stylecraft, and I was trying to really work exclusively with Stylecraft because they were a new company. They have dope clippers, and so they, you know, I was working with Scuba.
They are Stylecraft? Is that they are a clipper company?
Yes, they're a clipper company.
And you kind of like be sponsored by them? Is that kind of how
Correct.
that works? Okay.
Yeah, so they're a company out of Italy. Their headquarters is in Italy. They sent me a bunch of stuff, man, and I did some videos with their stuff with Scuba, and a bunch of other, you know, Scuba's huge in the beard stuff, you know what I mean? And a lot of that is kind of my fault, because I've been his barber for years. But so when he started his channel with BeardTube, a lot of people was like, dude, your barber's dope. Well, then people started putting two and two together and saying, well, that's Drama the barber. So then we just kind of marketed it as that, you know what I mean? And we just kind of pushed it with what it was and how we did it. And so Lee ended up calling me, and he said, hey man, I would call Lee and I say, hey, I know I'm gonna try and make it to LA. And he'd tell me, okay, all right, man, well, I hope you can make it out here. And I say, but you know what, Lee, I'm gonna be in New York though.
You gotta stop trying.
Yeah.
You know, but I would always put my foot in and say, I'm gonna try this, but I'll be in New York. I'll be in Dallas, or I'll be, you know, wherever. And then, so I still to this day, I have not made a LA show. I plan to. I just haven't. Every time that we get a LA show, it's always I'm in Vegas or I'm somewhere else, and I just can't always get there.
Get the LA show next time we go into the LA show.
Yeah. So
2024 coming up.
You guys will make it happen. You got plenty of time.
So all these times of me.
Memphis and
No, Memphis. It's Orlando. Man, it was Memphis, but I think they changed it. Mm-hmm. But so he called me one day and he goes, hey man, he said, this dude, you always do everything. You know, you always work hard. He said, dude, your name is Drama. And he said, I just always thought it was going to be a problem. And he's like, bro, you're one of the coolest people. And so I thought that was cool because it's just kind of like.
Well, that's kind of great about your name. Is everybody that knows Drama, like, he's fucking cool as fuck. Like,
I had a lot of girlfriends growing up, man.
So, I mean, shit. As long as we ain't dating you, we
At the
good.
same time.
So as long as we ain't dating you, we good.
No, yeah, I'm married, so ain't no dating over here.
It depends who you ask.
But so he called me up and he said, hey, man, we're going to do BarberCon in Dallas for the first time. And I'm like, I'm there. You know, I'm a huge Cowboys fan. So they're like, hey, man.
You like 6 hours away?
Let's do it, yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, and you're semi-close, which is nice.
Yeah, so I get out there.
Fucking Cowboys.
And
that's what he's laughing about.
So I went out there and he's like, so every BarberCon, before the night before the show, Lee always has, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Lee has these VIP meetings. And so it's like all the big wigs,
everybody that's involved in the show,
dude, anybody that's anybody in this industry,
those are awesome.
In
We've
that
got
room.
Yeah, those are cool.
And so I'm in there and I'm like, I think I'm big shit at the time because I'm over here at Wichita Barber Company. And so, you know, I was like, you know, I'm telling the guys, I'm like, hey, you guys should come to BarberCon with me. You know what I mean? And half of them's like, I don't know. And the other half's like, fuck yeah, I'm down. You know, because they see what I do. Mm-hmm. And so we get out there and he's like, well, bring everybody with you to the meeting. And I'm like, okay. Like, I didn't know what we were doing. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So we show up in this meeting and there's like, man, Taylor Cuts is there. Like, I was starstruck because these are guys that I actually look up to. These are guys that I watch their videos
watch on YouTube all the time.
And you're like, oh, there they are.
Yeah, I mean, this is how
that's
I
a little
learned.
weird. Like, it's a little weird because that
Dude,
disconnect.
right here.
I mean, usually it's a disconnect, and then you go, oh fuck, well there they are.
Well, and it's crazy because it was kind of like as soon as we walked in, like I saw Taylor first. Shout out to Taylor. So I see Taylor first, and Taylor's like, comes up to me and he's like, Drama, let's take a picture. And I'm shaking in my boots. I'm like, how the fuck do you know who I am? You know what I mean? And they're like, bro, you're killing it. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So and then next thing you know, like all these other barbers, man, they're coming up and asking me to take pictures. And I'm like, man, this is fucking crazy because I want to take pictures with all you guys.
So you're feeling like a celebrity in a room of where you were starstruck.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like sitting back in the corner and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. You know what I mean? Well, then Lee starts off with his little speech, you know, and he's like, hey, I'll never forget he said this. He said, the reason why I do these meetings is because you never know who's out there that's doing what, and you never know who's going to be better than the next person at doing said what. And so I'm sitting back there and he turns around, like, yeah, I'm at his back. He can't see me. And I'm clear off in the corner. I'm like, I'm eating plates of meatballs and shit that they made for us and drinking these pretty ass expensive drinks that they had.
He's robbing the table.
And so Lee is over here and he turns around.
I'll fuck that table up too. Don't let me in the green room.
Well, look, everybody's in this meeting and everybody's now paying attention. And so Lee turns around and he goes, hey, man, I don't know anybody from Kansas. He said, but guess what? I know Drama the Barber now. And I was sitting there like, damn, Lee, you just put me on the fucking spot. I mean, it felt real good. You know what I mean? It really did because it's like, damn, like I'm really working for something and it's working. Yeah. You know what I mean? But
to have him say your name.
It's nice when
just to have him say my name in front of those people.
It's nice when the hard work pays off. And this is kind of one of those moments you go, wow, all that shit I've been going through this fucking paying off a little bit here.
Yeah.
But when you put out things that you want to be a barber when you want to be a famous barber.
Yeah.
And you put the work in to do things. I mean, that's what Drama set out to be. He want to be a famous barber.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why he has these stories. That's why he has these things that he's done. You know, it's because that's what he wanted to do.
I heard it like this one time, man. If you want to be in that scene,
you got to be in
the
scene.
Put yourself in the scene.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You got to
and you can
interject
get what
yourself.
you want out of multi-different levels, out of multiple things.
Yeah.
Like
Put yourself. You gotta
there's
put yourself
multiple
in
levels to everything, and there's fun at every level. Just depends on what you want. Yeah,
absolutely.
So it's nice. It's nice when you figure out your lane.
Yeah.
I guess so. Is what it is.
So like we're out there at that, and we go and. So we show up to BarberCon the next day. I'm there hella early, hungover as shit. All the guys are still at the hotel asleep. You know, nobody wanted to get up. I'm like, 7 o'clock, I'm going, man. So I get down there, and I'm ready to go, and the first person I see is Lee. And Lee's like, hey, where's the guys at? And I'm like, I don't know.
So I'm the only one not dead.
You know, so again, Lee's like, okay, man, hey, come on, I want you to meet somebody. It's like, here we go. Let's go. So he's like,
early bird gets
that's why we're here, right?
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
So he's like, this is my boy. He's the host of BarberCon. Da da da. He's like, this is DC Conley, and me and DC hit it off right from the gate. Yeah. So over time, going to BarberCons, me and DC are still rubbing elbows. We're still, you know,
You're
it's still
being
at the
seen
time
in
I
the
have
scene,
no
man.
clue who his clients are. You know, I'm still kind of like, I'm kind of questionable about it because every time I see DC, he's got a Death Row chain on. So I'm like, okay, well, he probably works with somebody.
He's a big Snoop fan.
Yeah. And see, you know, whenever you get into it like that, you kind of, the starstruckness stuff kind of goes away because it's kind of like you kind of got to keep yourself grounded and say, okay, look, well, I'm in this, I'm in the same boat.
On him. Yeah.
I'm in the same boat, so I can't just be like, oh yeah,
Really
man,
none of
hey,
my
I'm
business
Roman
what he's
Reigns'
doing, but-
barber. You know what I mean? Because then they're gonna be like, well, I'm Snoop's barber, and then this guy comes over, I'm Wiz Khalifa's barber, and then I'm LeBron James's barber, and then you really feel like the little guy.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, well, I mean, those are all huge names.
Well,
in all
like,
districts.
that's why his hair looks fucked up when you see him on the TV.
yeah.
You're the reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Camera
You
can't
guys
fix
ever
that
get
shit.
I bet that goes
Emailing
down.
about that.
So DC,
I bet that shit goes down.
Right.
Like a motherfucker.
You got a thread
I
about
send
that.
emails all the time to people. Hey man,
right.
let me cut your hair.
So DC maintained our relationship of being that guy, and DC would text me and say, post a picture, you know, or he would call me and we had talked more. Like he would get on his live, and then I would get on his live and
So
watch
he's trying
it.
to help you with relevancy and like posting.
Yeah,
and
just
shit.
showing me really what it's
Yeah.
like to be a barber like that. You know,
Yeah, well, and you got to keep your shit pumping. Like you can
Yeah.
do a bunch of great shit, but
Yeah.
if you got to
Yeah.
spread it out a little bit, and it's kind of annoying when you cross over into doing something good, and then you have to promote your own self. It's kind of a fucking weird thing that
Yeah.
you don't want to do, but you got to do.
Tooting your own horn, man.
It's not easy to do. It sucks.
Drama tells me all the time.
It's-
Bro, you
it
gotta
is
take
hard.
pictures,
It is
bro. You gotta
hard.
take videos,
It's
bro. You gotta-
cringy, man.
I
You
just-
feel
man, I-
cringy about it. You just got to
see,
cringe
once you
and
get-
it's.
I forget.
You
I'll
just
take
got
a
to
picture,
cringe
man,
and
his
hit
hair is fucked up. Let me take a
send.
picture.
but
Put it
once
out
you
there.
get into the groove of it,
Then
and
you
then
get
forget
it.
to take the after picture.
yeah.
Right.
But see, once you get in the groove of it, then you kind of get moving. You know what I mean? You kind of get rolling with it. So, but me and Lee kind of really hit it off because Lee's actual job, Lee is a, I don't know how you would say it. I don't want to say it wrong, but he's like a tour manager for Obi Trice.
Okay.
And so, of course, I mean,
I know who Opie Trice is.
yeah, well, you know, and you guys know my background a little bit. I rapped in Wichita. I toured with Tech 9. I did a bunch of stuff here. You know what I mean? And it was kind of the same scenario. I went to school with my brother. Went to school with Big Mike, and Big Mike was kind of took me under his wing, and
Yeah.
you know, and it just kind of went. Yeah, R.I.P. to Big Mike.
Yeah, we love you, Big Mike.
So, but Lee we kind of hit it off, and I think a lot of what it was because we kind of have that similarity of thought. You know what I mean? Like he's real deep in the music industry. Like, do you know who Gabby Sklar is? I think is how you say her name.
Sklar?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
She's a big singer, so he's working with her now,
Oh, really?
and he's doing a lot of stuff with her. But but like I said, so he also is the one that puts on all this BarberCon stuff and everything. And he's not a barber. He's not in the industry. He doesn't know.
It sounds like he saw
he's
an
a-
industry that needed a con and like
He's a
made it work.
promoter. He's a
He's a
yeah,
really good
and he's there
businessman.
for
Yeah,
everybody. Man, the dude is just
And he-
cool. He's there. He'll hook you up with anybody. I mean, you could go to him and say, "Hey, man, I want to work with Corona," and he will link you with his people.
He'll
If
He's
he
like,
knows
"Here,
anybody.
go
Finally
get it.
helpful
Here you go.
person.
Go
As
get
long
it.
as you're
Really
willing
is.
to work and you're willing to really put yourself out there and work, man, the dude will give you what. I mean, this dude has sent me.
That's good management, man. That's
Cool
good.
as a fan.
Good
This
yeah.
dude has sent me. Like he'd send me clippers, like random boxes of clippers or combs, or just random
Shit to try out. And
But
see if
then
you
he
like it
started
and stuff.
sending me books, and it was like books of
Trash.
responsibility in business and
Oh, shit.
relationships and professional behaviors.
Well, he probably
All
thought
right,
you
he
was
tried
getting
to
to where
mold you.
he thought you was getting to that time where you was ready for some shit like that.
Hey,
Yeah. So it's like sometimes you ain't ready at the beginning. Let me teach
Right.
me to craft, and now teach me to business.
Right.
Wax on, wax off.
Right.
Yeah. Teach me the business when I'm ready.
Paint
Right.
the
Teach me
fence
the
down
business
your
when I'm
side.
ready.
and so they kind of linked me with.
Do that shit first.
So he kind of linked me with Ghost, which is the owner of Maestro's Beard Products, and so I started working with him, and they started sending me a bunch of product, and I was pushing it out to my clients, and I was using it myself as well as my clients, and they were the ones that opened up the door for me with the WWE.
That's why I say I thought Maestro's was the door
Yep.
that really kicked you into
Yep.
getting in with that. So are you pimping Maestro's and then Maestro's hits you up, or what happens?
No, I mean,
How's
okay,
it
so
go?
it's kind of a funny story because Maestro's was one of those companies that I originally, so when I started working with BarberCon and working with Lee and kind of getting the background view of what really was going on, Maestro's is one of the companies that I originally reached out to. Well, Maestro's didn't bite on anything that I was sending. at all. Maestros didn't. I mean,
What were you sending them videos and stuff?
Dude, I was sending them videos, pictures, messages. I was sending them storybooks about how I wanted to work for them and push their product. And they didn't even so much as follow me on Instagram. So
and you didn't get no return email,
nothing. They wouldn't hearten my fucking comments or anything.
Tell me no at least, man. Tell me
Right.
no.
Tell me to fuck off.
Yeah, dude.
At least tell me that you. I'll even take the pending one where you go. We got your shit. We're
Don't
looking
call
into
us.
it. Fuck
We'll call
off.
you.
So finally, you know, I got on my Kansas attitude, you know, and I was like, you know what, fuck them. You know, I'm doing all this stuff and I'm traveling over and you know, at the time
I don't need them.
Yeah, and at the time, I mean, I'm spending all my own money. Nobody's paying for me to go anywhere or do anything. I flew myself to New York. Lee tells me to come, I go. I don't wait.
You guys gotta come out. I knew you guys. I knew we didn't get into it, but you guys are coming out of pocket for all these traveling dollars.
For everything.
Yeah.
We did GoFundMe. We did plate sales. We did all that shit so that we could go to New York.
Yeah.
We had sponsors that
Everything
gave us shit to
going.
raffle off. Like, that's how we made it out there. We
had sponsors that gave us.
Shout out to anybody that helped you guys get there.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Like sometimes it takes a community to help you launch you into the next place.
I mean, but yeah, we had. I mean, sponsors that gave us things to give away and raffles and all that for us to be able to do this. I mean, it wasn't.
It's nice when the community comes back to help around.
I want to say it was Puff Vapes.
Puff Vapes. That's it. It was Puff
Official
Vapes.
Beard Tube. What's Matt's company?
Admiral's Pennant.
Admiral's Pennant. Beard oil.
So
Yep.
That's
awesome
nice. That's nice that you had some
And
people
it's
stand up
local.
for you.
Beard oil.
And it's local.
Yeah, it was cool, man. We had a lot of people that helped us out, and we
and they
got
helped us
T-shirts
out.
printed and put all their logos on the
Put all
back.
their
Yeah,
logos
That's
on
our
the
plan.
shirt.
That's our plan at Damn Jam
That's
this
what
year.
we're thinking about too.
Yeah, and it was cool, dude. And it was cool because we had an
Jump on.
artist that did our shirts. Shout out to Mark at Apple Graphics. He did our shirts.
Apple
and
Graphics been a
me and
staple in this
Chop were
town forever. We love you, Apple
Straight up.
Graphics.
on the front of the shirt, me and Chop were in a drop top pink Cadillac, and then it said Barbercon or
Pink
bust, and there was a
Cadillac,
Statue of Liberty.
Because Elvis had a
Bet.
pink Cadillac.
That's pimp.
So it was, you know,
Yeah,
so we
that's
did
pimp.
the pink
That's pimp.
Cadillac
That's
thing.
pimp.
And it was,
So-
I mean,
So that eventually landed you with Lee, and Lee got you in the door with the WWE. How did?
Well, Lee helped me meet the guys at Maestro's.
Oh yeah, it was
So like I
Maestros,
said,
that's
so
right.
then they weren't biting on anything that I was throwing. So finally, like I said, I got my Kansas attitude on, and I was like, all right, well, fuck them. You know what I mean? They'll wish they worked with me.
Yeah.
So here we are. Fast forward 2 years, and
Are you still using the
fast
product?
forward,
Did you
absolutely
still using their shit?
Absolutely.
Told them to fuck off, but their product still works.
Absolutely. You know, and that's the beauty of it, because I'm getting ready to tell you. So, you know, I had finally said fuck them, and so then I had unfollowed them, and I didn't have any ties to them whatsoever, and about a year later, I get a follow from Maestro's Classic. And I'm like,
They bite first.
no shit. Yeah, they bit first. So
Like
they
that
followed me.
That
but
jealous
they got
ex-girlfriend done
So
came
they
back
followed
around.
me, and then I just had that voice in the back of my head that was like, follow him back.
Yeah.
Now's the time.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and followed them back, and they reached out to me and they said, hey, we're going to send you some beard samples. Well, they sent me a box with like 10,000 beard oil packets.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, he's like, just give them out, man. Take pictures of people with them, promote it, you know,
Yeah.
do this, that. So
So
about
someone
a
at
month,
their PR department finally did a little research.
well, I think it was the owner. I think it was
Yeah.
Ghost that did it,
Yeah.
you know, because Ghost is he's a 10-man bandstand, you know what I mean? And he's just an awesome fucking guy. But he ended up reaching out to me, and he's like, hey, man, we run all the stuff for WWE. We're going to be in your city. And they were like, we just think it would be really dope if you came and hung out with us. And so at first I'm like, oh, I'm going to go hang out and watch some wrestling. Cool. You know, and I told him, I said, well, can I
You
get
didn't know
some
what the
tickets
hell
for
you're
my
getting
kids?
into. Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, man. We'll get tickets for your whole family. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, okay, that's that. And then so they hit me up, and he's like, hey, make sure you bring your stuff. And I'm like, well, I thought I was hanging out. And he's like, well, I mean, you probably do a little work. And I'm like, oh, okay.
We'll see.
So I take my stuff, and then so they don't tell you anything until like 2-3 days before. So you're like caught off guard. And so he's like, well, meet me at Planet Fitness. Well, he said, we'll pick you up. We'll be in a bus. We'll pick you up at Planet Fitness
Here's a brief.
on
Like,
on
like-
Central and Edgemore. And I'm like, dude, I live here. Why wouldn't I just drive to the arena? You
Yeah.
know. So I go, and I'm
Starting
telling
to
my
feel like a setup. You're like, well,
dude. So I'm telling my wife.
Kidnapped, man.
I'm telling my wife. I'm like, hey, man, this just seems like it's fucking joke. You know, like it just seems like it's not real. Like, who's gonna call me and say, hey, meet me at fucking Planet Fitness?
Right.
You know. And so I'm not dumb. So I take the opportunity to go pack my shit, and I go to Planet Fitness.
let me go see if this is real.
So I go inside,
I
and there's this
know.
really pretty chick working the thing, and I'm like, oh, this is so embarrassing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, so I'm supposed to meet,
our wrestlers here?
I'm supposed to meet some people from the WWE, and she just kind of like bites her lip and looks around like,
what the fuck are you?
She's like, well, I don't see anybody in here big enough to be in the WWE, but you can more than likely, I mean, you're more than welcome to look around. And I'm like, all right. So I just kind of walk back.
I feel like an ass.
Yeah, so I like walk back to the wall with my tail between my legs and look left and look right, and I'm like, all right, well, fuck, I got busted. So I go to walk out, and I'm calling my wife, and she answers, and I'm like, they fucking got me. I'm like, whoever it was, they fucking got me. I said, there ain't nobody here. Nobody even big enough to be a wrestler in here. And I go to unlock my truck, and I turn around, and there's a big-ass bus pulling in, man, and they rolled the window down. They said, you drama? I said, yeah, I am. He said, you got your stuff? I said, yeah, it's in my truck. He said, lock your truck and jump on. So I grabbed all my stuff and locked my truck, and I jumped on, and they said, we'll bring you back after the show. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I go get in line at the thing. We get to the arena.
So you got to leave your car at Planet Fitness?
Yeah, I left my truck at Planet Fitness.
Great planning by them.
Right. So I go to the arena, and really cool for me being Wichita, being a Wichita person, native, and being able to be in the back of the arena is kind of a big thing. I mean, I know there's not a lot of people that see it that way, but when you're from here,
you should feel that. Yeah,
it's a big thing.
Yeah, it's not an easy mountain. It's not an easy mountain to climb anywhere.
Dude, everybody grows up wondering what's behind those curtains.
Fuck yes, we do.
You know, don't matter if it's a circus, a concert, whatever. Everybody wonders what behind those curtains.
What the fuck they doing back there?
So they get us in, and they're like, "I will take you to your dressing room," and I'm like, okay.
I got a what?
I'm like, all right, dig this. So they take me back to this room, and it's just me. I'm the only barber.
Oh, and so let people know when these WWE guys travel, there's what, 50 of them plus?
There's a lot.
There's a lot. There's a lot of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, there's a lot. So I get going back there, and I'm cutting. I'm doing a couple cuts here and there, and you cut everybody. You cut the crew. You cut the.
So they just pay you out of pocket for that, or do you get paid for the whole event, or how's that?
They pay you for the whole event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you get paid by the event.
But you're pulling down pretty decently.
And I'm knocking some tips too. I bet too.
Yeah, I was making really, really good money.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm sure those guys are pretty fucking well. They're probably pretty generous.
The lady that does my dreads does Atlanta Falcons, kind of in the similar fashion that you're talking about.
Yeah,
they
pay well.
So you're like, damn, I ain't gonna see none of this show. I'm cutting hair this whole fucking
time. Well, no, I mean, because you're done. Like right when they go live, you're done. Pretty much.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like you wait for the big guys, and then once they go live on TV, you're done.
Yep.
So I'm back there cutting, and I'm working with like Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, Daniel Bryan, and they come back there and they said, man, they said, well, if there's one guy that you really want to work with, who would it be? Well, I'm not fucking dumb, I'm a 30-something-year-old dude. I'm like, dude, fucking The Undertaker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
all day.
Like, cut to the fucking chase.
Especially at our age, because he's getting towards the end of his career at that point.
Yeah, he was at the end.
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, Mark ain't here, and I'm like, damn, but deep down inside, I'm bummed out. I'm like shot.
You're like, all right, I'm trying not to show you how disappointed I am.
Yeah, I quit, guys. So they're like, okay, well, who else that's like active? And I'm like,
who you got?
Like, dude,
it's almost like who you got.
It's like, dude, I like Randy Orton. And he's like, oh, yeah, the Viper. And I'm like, yeah, Randy Orton's fucking dope. And he's like, well, cool, because you're going to cut him today. And I'm like instantly shaking in my boots, like, what the fuck? Like, don't ease in at all, just fucking throw it at me.
So a little sidebar when I talk to you guys, when you get a big client like that, is it a little nerve-wracking? Like when you have to cut somebody's hair is kind of important?
Haircut's a haircut.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Not anymore?
Not anymore, but at first.
So Snoop sits down, you ain't a little nervous?
Haircut's a haircut.
No.
Now you there now?
I'm there now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah, if I ever ended, God forbid I did, because, hey, sorry, DC. No, but I'm just saying, if I ever got to cut Snoop, I would probably be
a little
dumbfounded.
A little schoolgirlish.
I would be definitely would have to take a picture and get an autograph.
So he just goes, you got the Viper, here it comes.
Yeah, so he's like, dude, Randy Orton. And so it's kind of crazy because he pops in and he's just like hella bubbly. And he's like, hey, man.
That's a big motherfucker,
a new barber. Oh, dude, he's fucking humongous.
Huge, dude.
And I'm not a little dude, he's
huge, man.
And so he comes in and he's like, hey, man, I really got to go meet these writers. He was like, so you think you get me in and out in like 5 minutes? And I'm like, yeah. I mean,
he's a short-haired guy.
You get a military cut. You're like high ball fade with like a 1 on top. And I'm like, dude, I'll have you out of here in like 3 minutes. And he's like, for real?
All right.
And I'm like, for real? And he's like, okay, I'm going to hold it to you. And then he just runs out the room. You know,
and you don't know when this motherfucker coming back.
And it's not the Randy Orton that we all know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he's a big bad bitch.
So now I'm like freaking out, and I'm in here dusting my clippers off and moving on, making sure all my shit looks nice when he comes in. And then when he comes in, it's the rattlesnake. You know what I mean? He's the viper, dude.
He's got the characters on.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, don't do it, you know. And he's like, puts his bag down, and he's like, so you're the guy that we've been hearing about all week.
So he talked to you like a different person.
And I'm like, well, I hope it was good. And he was like, guess we'll find out. And I'm just like, what the fuck,
it's
bro?
like, bro, didn't we just talk?
You're freaking me out right now.
Didn't we just talk a few minutes ago?
Dude, and so like, I literally cut his hair, and I gave him the mirror, and he looked in the mirror, and he was like, no shit. He was like, dude, this is one of the best haircuts I've ever had. And
you broke character a little?
And you did it in under 5 minutes. And I was like,
especially in that industry. I mean,
that's because I'm driving. I was going to say last time I heard this story, he said 5 minutes.
Yeah, so it was creeping down to 3 earlier in the story. You said,
started to creep in.
Next time I say I got this motherfucker in a minute.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes.
Well, I bet in this industry, and I've heard from a few other people that you line people up pretty quick, and sometimes a haircut is, you know, people are in a fucking hurry. I get it, but especially like when you're talking celebrities and they got to be out on this shit.
Yeah.
They got makeup, they got this, they got to read. Getting a good
That's
haircut.
What he's talking about. He's like, I got
under
5 minutes for this thing, meet and greet, photo shoot.
So
right.
So did you have to train yourself, and you too, to do real good haircuts and then try to do them very swiftly? Like, is that something that you work on as a barber, trying to do them as fast as possible?
The first plan is to do them well.
Exactly. Yeah. So I figured you learn that first, and then you kind of get better at speed.
First to do the haircuts. You learn first to do the haircuts well. Then you advance to finding your process to make it happen quickly.
To like streamline the process, kind of.
Right.
To help your client get in and out when they need to get out. You know.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's a lot when you're dealing with
again, that's playing to the crowd.
Yeah.
Right.
Fitting that schedule.
So he's happy.
Make that brief happy.
So yeah, he was happy, and so like I worked with everybody.
So your name gets to echo through the ranks. So this guy can get us a tight haircut pretty fucking quick.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So long story short, I got my family all front row seats. Randy's in the middle of a match with
your T-shirt on, fucking waving.
Yeah, dude.
Waving the flag.
He's fighting. He's wrestling in the match, and dude, he comes over and high fives my son during the match, and you know, like, dude, they really made it work. They really made it cool for me, and that was awesome. And so that later on that night when I was leaving, I went back to pack my stuff, and I'm leaving, and I get to meet Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
And I was kind of fucking mind blown that time too.
That's another like, hey,
Luchador is always
there you are.
Yeah.
That guy that flips the fuck off the stage.
Right.
There you are.
Yeah. Well, he just got flipped off the stage by Charlotte Flair's husband. Beat the shit out of him that night.
Oh, crazy.
But anyway, so I go to leave, and I'm going back. My wife is taking me to go get my truck, and so I call Ghost from Maestro's, and I'm like, hey man, I just wanted to say thank you for everything.
Yeah,
like, you gave me one of the most coolest fucking experiences I've ever
Thank you for
had.
kicking a door down for me.
Yeah, thank you for everything. This was awesome, you know. And he's like, keep that thought. And then so he gets back on the phone, and he's like, do you think you can be in Dallas Friday morning by like 9? And I'm like, fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if that's what you're asking, we have to be yes men sometimes. Yeah, I can do that.
Dude, so he's like, we'll send you the itinerary. And I'm like, okay. And so I get there, they pick me up. Well, I get down to Dallas.
You didn't realize that was kind of a tryout. They was trying your ass out a little bit.
I had no idea.
Yeah, they put your feet to the fire a little bit and see if you can handle it.
Yeah, and it worked. Thank God. You know what I mean? But
you stepped up and handled it.
Yeah, they got me down there to Dallas. I checked into the hotel that I had and got to the arena. Well, I got to the hotel, and then I met them, and I jumped on the bus with them and rode from the hotel to the arena. And then when we get there, we're sitting underneath. So American Airlines Center, you have to go underneath the building. And so we're underneath the building, and we're just sitting there, and I've got all my shit, and I'm just like, what are we doing? And they're like, oh, well, you're waiting on Roman Reigns' bus. And so at that point, I'm like,
that's a big deal.
All right, fuckers, you guys just brought me the biggest dude in wrestling. You know what I mean? Like,
he's the heavyweight champ at that time, right? Probably.
Yeah. And so this was after his last cancer episode. Because he's beat cancer 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, well, they kept tiptoeing back and forth between him and Lesnar, who's going to be the champ because of him dealing with all the cancer shit.
Right, and see, I'm looking at it from a different, I'm looking at it probably the wrong way, from a different aspect, you know what I mean? And they bring him in, and all I'm thinking is, dude, that's Dwayne's cousin. Like the whole time, all I'm thinking is, dude, that's Dwayne's cousin. You know, and he was so cool. Like he knows my fan was a big fan. My son was a big fan of his, and my son was in the hospital and wasn't doing well before I had left for that show. And so we were fighting about, you know, dealing with that, and thank God he's doing a lot better now. He's safe now. Everything's good.
Yeah, but that's a tough time to try to travel for.
I thought I was going to lose my son.
Yeah,
so I mean, it was
you got a
really
son in the
scary for
hospital,
me.
and you got a big career opportunity. That's a scary moment in life. I mean,
so I
that's not
stayed
easy.
here, and I was in the hospital with my son until he got out, and then as soon as he got out, I left. And when I get out there, the first thing Roman does is he's like, "Don't call me Roman, call me Joe."
You got to know him.
I got to know him. You know what I mean? And then from that moment on, after I cut his hair, he was like, "Call your son." And so I FaceTime my son, and he's like,
Your son got to talk to him.
My son got to talk to him on
That's
FaceTime.
yeah, that's cool.
And he was like, "Dude, I'm here with your dad," you know? And for me, I was in tears because I was like, damn, you know, like, I just met these guys. I'm brand new to this whole shit. You know what I mean? And
it's my second event.
Yeah, and these guys really took me under their wing. When people say that the WWE is a big family, it's not a lie. Those guys are really there for you, regardless if they met you 5 minutes ago or 5 years ago.
That's a hard world too, man.
It is.
And they travel 24/7.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. It's a hard world.
They doing like 5 shows a week.
Dude, see, like
a motherfucker.
One of the things that really fucked me up, dude, like, I'm a big UFC fan too. And so I thought I was going to be able to work with Brock. And so I'm like, oh, dude. So I see Brock come
to
in.
meet that monster, that'd be fucking
dude,
cool.
so I see him come in, and I'm like, I changed from WWE fan to UFC fan. And they stop me, and they're like, hey, don't talk to him. And I'm like, what? It's Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? And they're like, don't talk to him.
That's not
the guy's really like his person, like his character. And I'm like, really? Like, that sucks.
Well, he's nice, but he don't want to fuck with nothing.
Well, you know what's
That's
crazy?
What I've heard,
when
too.
Brock comes walking through the back in the locker room, everybody turns around.
But they don't want to be looked at?
Dude, I don't know. He just,
Really?
I didn't get to meet him because I was too worried because everybody's like,
I've heard he's a nice guy, but I heard he's just really like
I wanted to meet him. I wanted to meet him.
Because he lives out in the middle. Because
Right.
he like lives out in the middle of Montana or some crazy shit. Yeah. He lives all out in the
Dude,
cold.
and another thing blew my mind. He's married to Sable. I never knew that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I didn't for the longest
You
time.
seen their mean ass looking fucking daughter that wrestles right now?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I wouldn't fucking spend a minute in the
Yeah.
ring with that girl. She'd dump me on my fucking head in a second.
Right. So,
buddy, Brock
yeah, I
Lesnar's
mean,
girl.
it's definitely been some cool times, and it was definitely, you know, it did take me a lot of work. You know what I mean, to get there. It wasn't like anything fell.
So
in my
how long
lap,
were you?
but-
How long after you do this Dallas show? How long do they keep asking you to travel with them, or like how does that go with them?
So my area, my region was from Kansas City to Fort Worth.
Oh, I got you.
So Fort Worth, Dallas, Oklahoma City, Tulsa,
That
Wichita, Topeka, and Kansas City was all mine.
Oh, that makes sense.
So, and then I was also with a guy, Sir, out in St. Louis. He was with me that he traveled with me a couple places here and there, and but most of the time that I worked, I was by myself. So it was kind of tough being the only barber, and because you kind of got to do everybody. Anybody that wants a haircut is yours.
Yep.
Like down to cameraman and shit.
Down to cameraman.
So like, and you're just here we go.
Yeah,
We
I
gotta
mean,
run
dude,
this out.
you're cutting cameramen, you're cutting
Production people, the
production
fucking
people.
the dudes serving.
You're cutting the guys that come. You got 3-4 guys coming in here from TNT.
Oh, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? And then as
that
soon
makes
as they get out of here, then you got publicists coming in. And then you got The Miz. And The Miz has 4 camera guys, a publicist, an internet person, a social
that's
media
just gotta
person.
get exhausting.
Oh, fuck, dude. Like, you know, and you walk through there and you see these guys, you know, and it's crazy because when they come in to see you, it's like this right here. They're just regular guys. But as soon as they walk out that door,
Yeah.
the fucking aura is on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
that character comes out. That
Yeah.
character comes out a lot. That's
Yeah.
that's kind of
Well, you
that's
have
got
to
to be
do,
kind of cool to watch.
That's
like
performance.
as them hop out of your chair and turn into
Right.
another human being.
And it's crazy because it's like that with the females
It's got to
too.
be funny as fuck, you know.
You know, it's crazy because it's like that with the females too.
So do you end up ever doing female haircuts?
Yeah,
Or?
yeah, oh yeah. So when I was
I didn't know if your barbershop. I don't know. Can female?
Yeah.
Quick,
Oh, yeah.
quick side note. Can females come into the gentleman's
Absolutely.
shop and get their hair did?
Absolutely.
All right, just real quick. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know if you guys cut females' hair or not.
Yeah, so there was one when I was in Dallas that same time this second time I was in Dallas, they had the hockey Stanley Cup or something, the playoffs was going on. So we were in Tulsa. And so we all had to like pile up in the hallway in the aisle in the back. And so like I was up against one wall cutting hair, and then Sasha Banks' husband is across the hall right here, and Sasha Banks' husband is the one that does all the alterations. And
for like their costumes and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so to make them look right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy because I've seen this dude make shit on the fly. Like I've watched this dude make a whole outfit on the fly, like instantly.
Shit.
And so Sasha Banks and Bailey are like really good friends, and Sasha always has her little dog. She's got a corgi named Ryu, and he's always running through there and stuff. And so I got to do Bailey. Bailey's a big Egyptian fan, and so she wanted the Egyptian eye she has tattooed on the back of her neck, and she wanted that on her head. And so I did that on her head, and they actually made a costume that matched it.
Oh, so they
That went with
so they
her.
matched, so the tattoo matched the haircut, and then the costume matched the hairstyle.
Right.
Damn, they working hard as a motherfucker on this.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
So,
it's cool.
So do you still fuck with them, or is that something that comes around sometimes, or is that you just kind of now we're just working on mostly the gentleman shop? Like what's the?
So I mean, they've reached out to me a couple times, but here recently, the times they have reached out, I've really been busy with things, so I haven't really been able to get with them. But I mean, I'm totally open to traveling if they want me to. You know, they know that they can call me, and I'm still in touch with Ghost.
They still work with Maestros and shit?
Mm-hmm.
That's still...
Yep, and so Maestros has actually turned into a company that they focus on that now, and they're out of Philadelphia, so they have... Now they do the same booking deal that they do with the haircuts with the WWE, they now are in control of with the Sixers.
Oh, cool.
So they have the Philadelphia
Joel
76ers.
Embiid, shout out to J-Hawk.
Yeah, Rock Chalk
J-Hawk on that team.
Rock Chalk J-Hawk.
What you
Say it sooner.
Boomer Sooner.
Oh, you're a Boomer
Boomer
Sooner.
Sooner.
Say it sooner.
We just got at y'all this last week, so that's fine.
Boomer Sooner.
So on that note,
I can't say much because his Packers
So,
just beat the shit out of
you hold a little crown over him until the 49ers get in your ass next week. Yeah, don't worry. We'll handle that for you.
They still ain't gonna get no championship, but you will.
We have the most wins in your damn stadium. Call it the Love Shack.
All right. So as we run this through, and I hope everybody's football team loses, but mine, because the 49ers are the best football team ever.
They're the first ones out.
Shit, that would be Cowboys every year.
Actually, we weren't. We weren't the first one. C.J. Stroud was the first winner.
Only because y'all played.
So it wasn't us.
I'm hoping he beats Baltimore this week. I'm hoping they beat Baltimore this week. But go ahead at the end of this, make sure that you guys do a quick promo for you. Tell everybody here how to get to your shop. How do we book? Where's our stuff on social media? Where can we find Choppa and Drama and the Gentleman Shop? Give them all that shit before we wrap this up here at the end. Pimp the shop and pimp everything you guys got going, so everybody knows where to get it at.
Well, go ahead, hell,
You
did everything.
So you can find me on Drama the Barber on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the Gentleman Shop on everything as well. The Gentleman Shop ICT on Instagram, the Gentleman Shop on Facebook. You can find us at 325 West 31st Street South in Wichita, Kansas.
And what's your guys' hours there? What do we do? We book like so
9 to 6.
So when I got my haircut here a couple times, it's real easy. You get on the website. What's the website one more time?
Schedulicity.
Yeah, that one, and you can get through their Facebook page, and you can schedule with whatever barber that you want, whatever time that you want. It's real easy. It's real simple, and it's a real easy place to find over there off of 31st between Broadway and Seneca. It's real easy. It's right there by the old entrance to O.J. Watson Park.
31st and Waco.
Yeah, 31st and Waco. Yeah, y'all right there like Lawrence Road almost.
We're
right
on the
there.
south.
Exactly, 31st and Waco.
31st and Waco?
Southeast corner.
Southeast corner, yeah. So get out and support everything at the Gentleman Shop, for sure. How long has the Gentleman Shop been a thing? How many years have we run? Since March, and we already
won the best.
Already won.
Best
That's the thing. I mean, that was the thing is that we've since March is when we started things, and we was able to win best in the city in that time.
Well, you guys set a precedence real fast. Yeah, and I've had nothing. I literally have heard. I mean, very rarely do you. Like, it's hard as a business, or it's hard as a personality, or it's hard as people cutting hair, or traveling, or making a business in town, or being in bands. It's hard to please everybody. It's hard to please everybody.
Don't ever try to.
I mean, you do what you do, and hopefully it lands on 90% of the people. But like I will say with you guys, I haven't heard a bad word yet. So that's I know when people are working hard and putting a good small business together, when ain't nobody got nothing in their mouth to say.
Well, and everything ain't for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So
That's right.
so what you like might not be what I like.
We just try to do the best.
We just try to be the best we can for everybody, you know. And what I can guarantee you, what we can't guarantee you that you're gonna like even the conversation you had when you're in there. What we can guarantee you is that you will look in a fashion that you love, that you are happy with when you leave. You won't look bad.
Right.
I like that.
And it won't be a terrible situation. You can have, everybody don't agree on their points of view, but that doesn't matter. If you had a good experience in the shop,
straight up,
that's what's important. That you have the good experience.
And you guys are serving that out like a motherfucker.
And we're serving the good experience.
Go check out that place, guys.
And since they've told us we were the best, now we have to live up to it, and we're making up.
Well, now you got to make sure that you give everybody the best that comes in.
Right. Making sure that everybody gets the best treatment when they come into our place.
When I say in my 2 visits, they've done nothing but that, guys. So
we just try our best to be able to.
I don't think you can miss with either one of them. They got these 2 guys and Sir Charles, a guy that's been on our show.
Shout out to Sir Charles.
So you guys got three absolutely great bartenders there. You got an absolutely comfortable, fun shop.
They're barbers.
We're not bartenders. We don't have no liquor license.
You're
welcome to a free
When I say
beer.
bartenders,
yeah, we do have a beer fridge.
We are headed to the bar, so maybe my mind was. Let's get a liquor license at. Let's get a liquor license at the fucking barber shop.
I'm not even gonna take it to you.
Maybe we tricked into some shit. Maybe we tricked into some shit.
We don't want to sell it. We don't want to sell it.
I love you guys, man. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks, guys, for doing this, man.
Having us.
Fucking fabulous show.